What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode, and today I'm here with my buddy William Pfingst, and he's with the Jackson Kayak Pro staff, and he's actually never been on the Blue Sky, right?
Never. First time.
Have you ever seen it in person?
I've never seen it in person. First time.
Cool.
Now the Blue Sky, it's got the wheels in the back, the double handles. It actually makes it really easy to move. And this would be how you launch it. You could just roll it right down in the water till it floats. Stuff on board and flip those wheels up. Pretty dang stable, huh?
Very stable.
It is definitely
very impressive.
So that seat has up and down adjustment, forward and backwards adjustment underneath there. There you go. That puts it all the way down. And there's another lever that allows it to slide forward and backwards so you can meet the foot pedals.
Oh wow, okay.
The rudder deployment's underneath you, like right by the prop. You'll see like a little jam cleat.
Okay.
You lift that out, it's spring loaded, it drops down in the water. And you're rolling.
You get used to this?
Yeah. It's like an office chair, eh?
I really do.
So Will's playing with the height adjustment there. And you can see there's a little gap right underneath here that allow you to go up and down about 4 to 6 inches or so and change your ergonomics. So you're really pedaling down on the pedals as opposed to a kayak where you're pedaling kind of out front in a recumbent position. I like the way that it really allows you to dial in your ergonomics. And you can actually recline the seat back too with the little side knob adjusters. You've got one on each side and that slides on the track. So you can adjust your seat back forward and backwards if you need to, like recline it back.
Holy. Okay.
Lazy boy style.
Yeah, so many different positions in this thing.
Yeah, so I was just saying that the seat on it is fairly stiff, so when you're spinning around, you kind of got to put your weight into it. But the reason for that is so when you're paddling straight, your seat's not sliding back and forth the whole time.
You can see so much from this platform. You don't ever feel like you're gonna fall in or tip over or anything. It's very stable. Just the kids hanging out on the back of this.
Yeah, they call that area up there the front porch. And it's basically like an added platform in the front. It's reinforced by the frame of the actual boat. So plenty of stability, plenty of strength to stand on there.
You know if they recommend this for the ocean at all?
I would think not, just because that front platform, if waves came over the front,
Yeah, it completely wash it out.
yeah, it's going to wash over your deck. But yeah, I mean, it's a catamaran. Oh, you got one. Nice, dude. As the first California bass in a Blue Sky. Right there.
I'll take it.
Nice, dude. I like the fact that your boat turned, but instead of like repositioning, you just spin your seat to stay focused on where you're casting.
Yeah, like I said, it would take some getting used to realize you could do that. Just up, change the direction, not change the course completely, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice. One fish, 2 strikes, not bad. It turns really well.
Do you feel like it handles better than your Kusa?
Absolutely.
Just better tracking, better maneuverability?
Yeah, 100% better than the Kusa.
The other thing I really like is I like how they have the paddle and rod stagers there on the side. So you can have up to 3 rods plus the stager on top and your paddle all kind of stored next to you there.
Plenty of room for crates. You can put 2 crates back here if you wanted to.
A crate and a cooler.
Yeah, crate, cooler, whatever you want to do.
So one thing Will and I just noticed is if you open up the hatch here and you have your paddle in the paddle stager, it hits the paddle. So you have to move the paddle in order to get into that hatch. So I mean, not a huge deal, but it seems like they could have moved that over like a 1/4 inch and cleared that. Works great on the left side, but if you're staging your stuff how they intend, the hatches are a little clumsy to get in and out of. Small stuff, but you know, it's also real world stuff.
Yeah, you want to know. push 4.5 miles an hour, not comfortably. Can push 3.5 comfortably.
You're saying this boat right here, the Kusa FD, is about 3.5 comfortably, 4.5 if you're pushing it, sort of maxing it out. We're gonna just do a little side-by-side comparison of the Blue Sky and the Kusa, using that as a reference point to give you guys an idea of efficiency. So let's line them up. Everyone loves a good drag race.
Good old drag race. Let's do this.
Let's see, we're about even there. Okay. All right, let's give it the gas.
Steers so easy. Comfortable.
Yeah, we're definitely cruising. Nice flat water out here today too.
Yeah.
And I'm cruising. I'm throwing a bow wake. I'm about as fast as I'd want to go. So you're not winning any races in either of these boats. I think 4 miles an hour is probably an average pace with kickback 3.5 or so. But I think the benefit of fishability on that boat makes it worth it. Yeah, it's a little slower, but it's so fishable. And if you added a motor to it, you know, then you've got the best of both worlds for those people that would want to do something like that. Pretty out here today, man. The Macomb is so flat and so nice. Will, have you done much paddling or fishing out here before?
I have not, unfortunately, but after this tour today from you, I'm definitely going to spend some more time out here. It's a beautiful body of water, Dan.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled to have this as our backyard and as our testing facility for sure. Just miles and miles of gorgeous flat water. All right, Will, we got it off the water. You were in it the whole time. What are your thoughts, man?
I'll be completely honest. At first, it was kind of comical to me. As I got on it and moved it around and walked about it, I've fallen in love with it. It's there are some things, some kinks that need to be worked out with the platform, but it's not bad for what it is.
Let's get specific. What sort of kinks did you find in the boat? Like, what would you change?
Okay, other than taking the platform apart and the seat. I couldn't get the seat to lock in place for whatever reason. A bigger person than myself, you put any pressure on it, it has a tendency to lean back. I don't know if I just couldn't crank it down tight enough or what.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to put some wax in here on the side, and just to create a little more friction, because as Will was cranking on it when we were racing, the seat was wanting to recline back. So I think it'll be something easy to address, but it is something that was kind of a nuisance. Also, the ability to take the thing apart, as we said in the beginning of the video, it was hokey. It was really difficult, and then the lines don't really work without untying knots, and it was a pain to get back in, so that part could be cleaned up. But overall impressions of the boat, I was impressed watching Will fish off it, like moving forward and backward, standing to one side, being able to pivot himself to the structure that you were fishing as opposed to having to turn the whole boat.
That's another thing. It's very handy. It just takes a little getting used to be able to actually just swing your seat around instead of having to completely reposition your kayak. This thing is incredibly stable. Not at one time I felt like I was going to fall off of it or tip it or anything like that. I was able to walk to the front of it, back of it, no problem. It's a great platform.
And I also like the steering, being up here, so when you're standing you can actually, you can reach down, grab a pedal, you can turn the boat just by flipping this.
Yep.
I mean, you made it look good, man. Hopefully the video does it justice. I didn't even get in it today. I wanted Will to experience it, and he was having such a good time that I figured I would just let him and let his fishing kind of do the talking for this video. So
I appreciate the opportunity because it was nice to be able to get out and actually have some experience on this thing and actually enjoy it. I can see why they made it, and I look forward to it in the future.
Yeah, and I think the next step would be to put the motor drive on and see what this thing can do. I think that'll really open up a lot of opportunities. So.
Yeah, people will have a different view of it once you could put a motor on it, make it a little more easier for certain people to maneuver it and stuff like that.
Yeah, for what we did today, no problem. But if you wanted to go across a few miles across the lake, the motor would be handy.
Oh yeah, point A to point B, a motor is handy. Just trolling around small bodies of water, the pedal drive moves around perfectly fine.
So you guys, you can expect more videos coming on the Blue Sky. We're going to do a walkthrough video, an in-depth, all the different features, pieces and parts, how you can rig your fish finder, where you're going to store your batteries, all those detailed questions. If anything comes to mind, do me a favor, leave it down there in the comment sections
so I can consider that when we shoot our next video. We appreciate you guys following along. This is a new chapter for the Headwaters, starting with the Jackson Kayaks and Blue Sky Boatworks, but we're really looking forward to seeing where it goes. And hopefully you guys will follow along, hit that subscribe button. Will, I appreciate you doing this with me, man.
Dan, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, this is Dan, wishing you happy paddling. We'll see you on the next one.